Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome to the newsletter. Stoked to have you here. It's where I get a chance to kind of not have a podcast, not have any distractions from that and my guests, and it's really where I get to talk to you. And some of the topics is endless topics, right? And so I'm very excited about this part of the newsletter because we're constantly paralleling places where what we do for ourselves, both destructively and healthfully, is a direct impact on the environment, either way. And so I'm a big proponent of taking care of your environment is equally connected to and expresses itself in the relationship with the environment. So as we get healthier, number one, we have more energy, we have more ability to respond to life. And when we're filled up and feeling great, we absolutely have more of an ability to extend beyond ourselves and give more of ourselves to our friends, to our family, to our children, to our pets, and to the environment and to the global community. So as you can start to understand that the healthier you are, the person in the mirror that you're taking care of has the ability to impact, obviously, your ecosystem, but you are equally and more powerfully connected to bettering the planet. I'm a big supporter of all of that. And some of the places where we're going to dig in on this newsletter today in this video is where some of those parallels kind of come into. So I'm just going to talk through. First one is the microbiome. So we know that eating a lot of plants, diversity, fibers, plants need such seeds, legumes, beans, all of those things that are connected to longevity. The blue zones, living a long life, living a happier life, degenerative diseases go down, heart disease, prostate cancer, breast cancer, all of these things, diabetes, all of these things go down when we're eating mostly plants. And that also is helping to balance and protect the healthy microbiome, restore, repair, brain enhanced chemistry, serotonin, dopamine, as well as enhanced immune system and your body's ability to uptake and absorb the food that you're taking in. So that's also a benefit to when you're consuming whole healthy foods. You want to get those whole healthy foods from as close to your environment as possible. So if you can grow your own food in beds, even if you want to start with a little herb garden, all of that stuff, or growing beds, then great, go for that. We need to do that. But then also you can support your local farmers markets. You can ask your local grocers to support biodynamic permaculture, organic farming in the local area, and I've seen this show up over the years where local farmers are dropping off their produce at these chains of grocery stores and they label it local, pesticide free, biodynamic, all of those things. So support that ecosystem because that also supports those farmers who are protecting the soil, which is sequestering the soil, and that microbiome is better balanced when you're not tilling and you're creating a diversity of plants in that soil rather than monocropping. So you're seeing where I'm going here. The healthier you take care of yourself by eating whole healthy plants, the more you buy whole healthy plants from your environment close to you, or you're growing it yourself or some of it, that's now affecting your microbiome, making you a superhuman, as well as making super soil and super plants and more nutrients available from supporting farmers doing the right thing and growing the right way. Regenerative agriculture obviously is a huge topic right now, and it's starting to move in this way. And I'll leave you with this. Four of the biggest oligarchies in terms of growing food in California have now turned to regenerative agriculture on their own to get support in transitioning out of monocropping. These things are behind the scenes that you don't know about, but I literally have talked to direct people who are helping these big companies. Can't name the names right now, but that's happening because of us, because of our demand of transparency and of quality food. So these things are extremely important as we're understanding the parallel between your choices, where you're getting your food, where you're getting your products, where you're getting your supplements, that you demand that these companies are showing or communicating in some way that they're doing the right thing, that they're moving in the right direction, that they're moving into transparency, so that you can demand a higher quality product for yourself and your family, and then that supports the economy of a healthier environment, a healthier world, and the reduction of pollutions, etc. So, and then of course, seasonal growing and consumption is good, because then we're not supporting transportation of a large amount of food globally all over the place. So support the seasons and support your local growers. Okay, so then another thing I've talked about several times, I did some single-use plastic, the toxins, the poisons. So I've talked about this on my podcast, and under Fatal Conveniences. And if you haven't checked out the Fatal Conveniences, then you have to go to fatalconveniences.com and sign up for the newsletter. We've got all of those episodes coming out, and we're going after and going into the toxic exposure of some of these products, and the negative sides of our modern day conveniences, which is why I call it fatal convenience. So single-use plastic, this is clearly the definition of, you buy something, you buy a small glass of water in plastic, you drink it, and within a minute, you've already thrown it away. So the most important thing to know is 99% of all of that plastic is from petroleum, from fracking, and 170 chemicals are involved in that plastic that is surrounding this precious element, this water element, and that precious element is taking on the chemicals, it's taking on the energetic deadening signature frequency of this plastic, of this water. So it's kind of insane that we've even allowed this to happen in our modern day world, but we have to put a stop to it. So single-use plastic, and then wrapping your food in plastic. Avoid styrofoam. Oh my gosh, when I see people dumping hot liquid into styrofoam, or hot soup into a plastic cup, it's just like you're literally creating a tea of extracting the oil, the petroleum, the synthetic hormone disrupting chemicals into that liquid, and then you're ingesting it. And we wonder why our hormones are off. We wonder why the microbiome is off. We wonder why depression rates are off. All of these things are contributing. And this single-use plastic, obviously fracking, the oil, fossil fuels, single-use plastic is supporting 100% of, and we don't think of it all the time as this fossil fuel industry, this oil, petroleum, fracking industry. It's supporting it directly. So we need to make the connection between the detriment that it's having on your physical body, on your children's physical body, on your parents, on your friends, on your family, the physical challenges that it's causing, disrupting your entire endocrine system and your toxic liver and kidney. And it's doing that same thing, destroying and breaking down in the environment into microplastics, then getting into our food system. And then we're actually reuptaking more plastic in a vicious circular way. So not only did we already expose ourselves to that plastic already, we discarded it, and only 9% of the plastic on the planet is being recycled. And I think that stat is even high. So therefore it's in our environment, breaking down in our oceans, and then we're getting exposed to it again in the environment. And then that's permeating in the fish, in the animals, and then we could actually then expose ourselves again. So microplastic is showing up in our systems, over 200 chemicals upon in our umbilical cord upon being born in this day and age. So we need to lower all of these rates of toxic exposure. So don't be overwhelmed, just take action. So eliminate using single-use plastic, certainly water bottles, that's a big culprit, but there's also some really important ones. So I want you, so the most important thing is to understand that when plastic is being created, there's 170 chemicals being emitted in the atmosphere, and those are extremely toxic, detrimental to the immune system, cancer, skin, eyes, sensory organs, respiratory, lungs, all of those things. And at the same time, then we're using those plastics that are causing intimate endocrine disruptions, cancer causing. All of this is surrounded by fossil fuel, the fossil fuel industry. So we have to have other options, other choices. And I'm going to get into, there's some exciting options and choices within all of this stuff. And I will get into that. So let me just go through my notes here. Other single-use plastic things to consider and to realize that we're contributing to is just the cap on a bottle, the 6 ring binders that keep 6 packs of soda and beer and all of that stuff that gets trapped around turtles and animals, and you see videos of that having to cut that off and killing animals, and that's not even, we're seeing those on videos, but it's happening in the millions of these things. And then cigarette butts. So we always have that smoker that smokes and then they feel like they can just flick that butt, and that's full of toxic chemicals, but it's also plastic. There's plastic particulates in there. So not only are you sucking in heat and sucking in plastic with a cigarette, you're flicking that in the environment. That's extremely toxic. Q-tips. When we were in the Down to Earth episode, one of the guys, when we were picking up plastic in France, or excuse me, in London, Q-tips were just all over the place. So you don't think about it. You're just cleaning your ear, and that whole thing is plastic, and it breaks down, and it's horrible. Bottle caps, like I said, drinking bottles and sodas, all of those things, plastic bags, straws, and now masks. So you're discarding all these masks. Why don't you wash them? You don't need to discard these medical masks. Wash them and use them again. Styrofoam cups, styrofoam packaging, all of this stuff. So now I'm going to expose some incredible solutions. One, I just became officially one of the advisors of this amazing company called Footprint. And this company is the largest alternative to plastic in the single-use plastic arena. Some of the biggest companies are using them. Cargill, Pepsi, McDonald's, I think Walmart's coming on board. All of these companies are starting to transition and change Beyond Meat Burger, the tray that Beyond Meat goes in, that tray, and all of these other things are changing using natural plant-based fibers and dyes instead of these companies using plastic. And so these companies are doubling down. So this incredible company called Footprint is closing that loop and allowing for, in a big way, we're talking millions and millions and millions of units are being sold today. It's happening. The more pressure we put on, the better this will be for all of us. So I'm super happy to be on board to Footprint, and it's an amazing team. And we're charging forward on a transition to turn off the faucet of a single-use plastic system altogether. So we need to stop creating plastic and also gobble up plastic. There's some other cool inventions that are happening. I've been researching it and involved in companies and seeing these companies for the last year, and that is through pyrolysis or pyrolysis. It converts waste plastic into fuel without emitting any toxic contaminants in the environment. So it breaks down, converts the plastic into diesel, high octane fuel, paraben, biochar. It's actually a clean product you can use in agriculture, and then you can actually use as fuel from the plastic, and start gobbling up some of this 9.2 billion metric tons of plastic on the planet. So we have to turn off the faucet of creating plastic, and then we also have to clean up the plastic. These technologies do exist today. I've been involved and am involved in all of those things, and I just need you to know about that, because we can't be overwhelmed with this. There's people doing incredible things. So we need to create circular economies as well. We need to have companies be aware of the entire ecosystem of their product. And we also need to demand that these products, these companies be responsible for their end use. They can't just put toxic products out in the world anymore. They need to be responsible to their end game, to the life cycle of their product. So, okay, you're putting a plastic out there. Well, how long is it going to break down? How is it going to break down? What can we do to then transition out of using that plastic or a type of plastic that's not plastic that can break down back in the environment? And these kind of things are happening. So there's many examples of this. Conscious consumerism, whole other thing. So outside of the world of plastic, but also in addition to plastic, that is being aware of the companies that are supporting sustainability, environmentalism, supporting fair trade, circular economies, B corporations, all of those types of companies we need to support with our dollars, replace the fatal conveniences and replace them with positive solutions. There's a great company called Buy Me Once, buymeonce.com. I thought this was an incredible company. So Buy Me Once is a tool that you can buy products that you can use for a lifetime instead of these this planned obsolescence, right? I remember I knew a company that was creating Bic razors. They found a technology to create bonding to the metal so that the razor would never get dull, and they threw the product away because they realized that they would never sell another blade. They would only sell it once. So that's planned obsolescence. They know the product's going to die so the consumer can buy it again. Now that's fine, but if it's causing harm to the environment, you need to stop that. So Buy Me Once is a great company where you can find alternatives to products that you can buy once without having to always do this repeat consumerism that's detrimental to the environment. So long video, I know, but listen to it in spurts. But I just want to give a shout out. We're doing an experiment. So the rest of the newsletter, you'll find the research that we did where I gathered a bunch of bright college kids that are dedicated to the environment and health, and I had them do this research. And so this is part of my plan, my bigger plan of having peers support you, and getting information out to you. I'm super excited for. There's a group of great kids that are doing this research for us, and there's more coming on board. So thank you for all of you who've done the research on this newsletter. And I also implore you, if you're a student or not, and you just want to, maybe you graduated, maybe you're a master's, maybe you environmental activism, whatever, you don't even have to be a student, but if you have skills for researching and have a passion for it, we're putting programs together to get students credit, but also creating a community. And then eventually I want to get where that's can give you benefits in many different ways. So if you're interested right now in helping us research and move forward and putting your hard-earned research into action so that we can get that information out, then sign up and let us know, and we will get it out there. So all the thanks to all of the research. Thank you, Raven Devani. You're the best. Indira, thank you. And we will see you next newsletter. I love you.